There we go. Now I got it. All right. Let me open this all the way up. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. I think people will still be popping in, but we will get started. So some of you may have heard how to pronounce my name correctly, so I'll just do it one more time. So it's Karen, that part's easy, Lampiasi. So for those who I haven't met yet, I'm the new Vice President of Sales. I've been here about 3 months, I think. I joined the company about 3 months ago. It's been very exciting. I've been loving it. I've been enjoying meeting everybody. So that's been super fun. I'm going to share my screen. Hang on. Give me 1 second while I move things off my screen before I share it. Here we go. So today, let's go. So for those of you who are putting your webcams on, thank you so much. I have 2 screens. So if you see me looking this way, it's because I'm looking at you guys with all your photos. And here I'm looking at my slideshow. So that's what I'm doing back and forth here. So if you can keep your webcam on, if you're dressed, that's a plus, then you can turn your webcam on. We'll keep everybody muted periodically. I'll try to stop in between the different segments. So if there's questions, I don't have anybody helping co-host, so I will check the chat box in between segments, or you guys can feel free to ask in between. And at the end, I'm going to do a raffle for a box of business cards plus a $50 gift card to somebody who is also a member of the Facebook group, because I'm encouraging everybody to join my Facebook group. Okay. So today, let me see if I had it. Oh, I didn't have a copy of my book handy. I want to talk about a few things. Atomic Habits, which is actually a book, which I highly, highly recommend. I think it's floating around somewhere here. Strategies for generating more referrals, but specifically listing referrals, and some Weichert Perks you may not know about. And then also just any general questions you guys may have, and some answers to things that have happened this week for people that I just think might be helpful for me to share, so people don't fall into the same little traps. So here is a copy of our team, and our team is actually expanding. So I'm the Vice President of Sales. Lucia, many of you, if you're newer, have spoken with her. She is our membership coordinator. Juan is our referral experience coordinator, and he helps place the referrals and manages that process. Caitlin has been helping right now with membership renewals. Narvis is our senior member of the team. She has been with Weichert Referral Associates for a really long time and is super knowledgeable, and she handles all our licensing matters. Beverly handles commissions, and Brittany assists with licensing as well as some other projects. So that's the team, and we are going to be expanding, but I'll keep introducing people as we grow. So I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this book called, wrong direction, called Atomic Habits. And Aram, who is the head of our company, also talked a lot about it, and we had sent a video out about that about a month ago, because he felt it was like a life-changing book for how you thought about business and goal setting. And I read it, and I have to say, I really agree, because, and this relates to personal stuff, it relates to business stuff, to kind of setting goals for yourself, because goals are about the results you want to achieve, but systems are the process that leads to those results. And I'm sure if you're like me, you have grown up with this. You need a SMART goal, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And while there's nothing wrong with that, and it still has validity, but what if instead of focusing on just the goal, you focused on what your systems are that will actually get you to the goal? Because with the right systems in place, the goal actually takes care of itself. And in this book, they had an interesting story and analogy, and I think I even heard this on one of the podcasts about this book. About, let's pretend and I'm not a sports person, but I am going to use a sports metaphor here. What do both teams, let's say in a football game, have in common? The winning team and the losing team. They both had set the same goal, right? They both set the goal of winning the game. That was the goal. So the person or the team who won wasn't because their goal was better or their goal was different. It was whatever their systems were that have created a winning set of systems for them to achieve that goal were put in place. So if you want to think about it, like, again, it's like a bullseye. Outcomes are the outer layer, the processes are that middle section. But the interesting thing that James Clear, who wrote this book, Atomic Powers, talked about was identity. And identity is what you believe about yourself. And it's that inner dialogue that influences everything else. So he said, when it comes to building habits that last, and when it comes to building a system of 1% improvements, and he talks a lot about this concept of incremental, and that's what he means by atomic. He doesn't mean like explosion, like an atomic bomb, but almost like atomic, like the size of a particle, these tiny, tiny little 1% improvements you can make. He said, the problem is not that one level is better or worse. It's all levels of change are useful. The problem is the direction of change. And most people start changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. I want to lose weight. I want to sell more real estate. I want to do whatever it is, right? And this leads to outcome-based habits. But the alternative is to build an identity-based habit. And with this approach, we start by focusing on who we wish to become. And how you identify yourself really shapes your habits and your actions. And so I'm going to give you a sneak peek into my brain. So this I actually did for me. And I said, how you identify yourself shapes your habits, right? So I could be very disorganized. My husband will tell you I lose my car keys 3 times a day, my glasses, my wallet, my phone. If I could I put like tag things that beep on everything because I don't have a good system of where I put anything. So I get disorganized, but I'm extremely responsible. I'm neurotically punctual. I'm creative. I'm very bad with names. I'm musical. I tell myself I'm not good at math, but I don't actually think that's true. But that's what I've told myself. I love learning. I'm a bookworm. I'm unathletic. And I'm friendly. And all of these things impact how I go about creating systems in my day and systems in my life for good or for bad, right? And so some of them, might be great. I view myself as punctual, so I will always leave an extra 15 minutes and be the first one to arrive. Almost always. It will almost never happen that unless the earth is falling down, that I will be late somewhere. I love learning, so I've created all kinds of habits about listening to podcasts and reading books and all of these things. But I also tell myself I'm disorganized. And so for some reason, I cannot get myself to figure out why I can't put my keys in the same place every day, because I've told myself I'm disorganized and I've told myself I can't do it. And so I basically can't. So once you know your identity, it's easier to create identity-based habits in the positive. We don't want to focus on the negative ones. So you have to start with the habits that do and don't align with what you aspire to be. So like if this was business and real estate, and I said, I aspire to be a really competent and creative and caring and successful referral associate. And you prove it to yourself by small wins, by doing incremental things each and every day that can help you solidify that. Because if you solidify all of these small habits, you will start to put the systems in place to get you to the goal that you want to get to. So the difference between goals and identities is kind of like if I said, I want to lose 25 pounds, great goal. Or if I said, I'm a healthy and active person, and that's my identity, that I convince myself it's my identity, every decision I make all day long will be with that framework in mind. Not that I'm not going to have the pizza. I'm not going to have the cookie. I'm not. It's, well, a healthy person would have an apple. A healthy person would walk, instead of taking whatever, the elevator, or do all of these different things. So if you start by asking yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want, you will start to see what kind of systems you could put in place. So if you said, I want to do 4 referrals a year versus I'm a successful and helpful referral associate, you can figure out what are the small things that you think a successful and helpful referral associate would have. What would their habits be? Well, they may have a habit of, I think I moved ahead too fast, but you might have a habit of, I'm always going to carry business cards with me so I can, make sure I hand them out to people I meet, or I'm always going to be listening to find ways that I could help. And if you're coming at it from a perspective of helping people, it's not sales, it's helping, right? And you hear real estate conversations and you find ways of offering to help, or you put yourself into social situations where if somebody says to you, so what did you do before? Or what is your occupation? That you can start talking about it and what you want to say. But again, James Clear talks about becoming the kind of person who can achieve the things you want to achieve. And if you build these identity-based habits and it comes from inside, the results can come later. It is like a tiny bit of this book. And I want to just tell you about this book and just give you that little brief overview, because it then gets into really great specifics about how to habit stack, like new habits on top of easier habits. And so you can really move your goals forward, and how these, as he says, tiny changes, remarkable results, how all these tiny little things can really add up over time and help you become really successful. So it's just a book I wanted to tell you about and give you a little insight into how this might be able to help you both personally, but also in your business. All right, so probably nobody's got questions on habits, but we'll start with some strategies for generating listing referrals. Okay, so I mentioned it before, and really this is a big one. If you guys don't have business cards, you're kind of not in the business. And I say that lovingly, because if you run into somebody that you want to give your number to and you don't feel professional and you don't feel like you've got something to give them, it's hard to make that little leap. So they're like $20 plus shipping. I would say if you need help ordering them, they're on the Weichert RA Design Center. I really encourage you to get business cards. That's just a super basic one. But always be interested in the people around you and ask questions and be prepared to mention what you do. And I think I heard this comment on a Tom Ferry podcast, which I don't know, one of his guests was talking about. And I just thought it was such a great answer, because how many of you guys are asked, so what do you think about the market right now? Or what do you think's happening in the market? Everybody wants to know what everybody else thinks about what's happening in the market. And instead of saying, oh, it's crazy or it's hot or it's insane, the answer that this other very successful agent always gives is, I think this is one of the most interesting markets we've had in a long time, because that almost always opens up the other person going, well, what do you think is interesting? What do you think? And then you could say, well, what is your kind of, perspective, and what are you looking to do in the market? Are you thinking, it really depends if you're looking to buy or sell, and it just reframes that question in a way that lets you more naturally start to engage in a dialogue about what their interest in real estate might be. Because they may say, well, we were thinking of selling our house, but we're just so nervous now about buying because of the interest rates and the inventory and blah, blah, blah. It just may let you, instead of having a kind of, well, are you looking to buy or sell? But if you make them kind of start asking the question about what's so interesting about this market, you may find yourself, talking about, this is where I skipped ahead. So what are some ways for you to answer? You could also just, again, have some small talk. By the way, do you know I used to sell real estate? And now I'm a referral associate. Most people don't know what that means. So make sure you have your own little 6, 7, 10 second, elevator pitch, as they used to say. I'm sure they still say, so that you know how to answer people and really be listening, and be able to market to them. The other thing, and again, this is really almost going back to basics, is about your database and your sphere being your most valuable assets. And I think if you start going on things like Facebook with the intention of trying to see what people are doing in their lives, you will start to see people who are, oops, I think somebody unmuted. Guys, hang on one second. I'm not sure how to remute you. Okay. If you start going on Facebook with the intention of really trying to see, well, who just had a baby, whose kids are graduating high school or college, who is maybe talking about they have family members moving to, downsizing, and maybe they might be thinking of moving, you will find interesting ins with people if you start engaging. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how to mute everybody. Somebody is unmuted. Hang on, where's my mute button? I don't know if everybody can just check their mic and somebody is here. Hang on.
This lady was talking loud. I had my sound all the way up.
Right, guys, somebody, I think, okay, I got it. I think I got it. I got it. All right, I got everybody muted. So send them messages, check in with them, call them, mail them postcards and letters. Even though you're a referral associate, you can still do some of these, a lot of agents are having a lot of success just mailing, like a colored envelope with a handwritten address talking about, you may know people interested in moving into the neighborhoods, anybody who might be thinking of selling. You can still kind of engage in some of those typical marketing strategies in your community. So the other thing that's interesting, if you're a former Weichert agent, we have a way that we've been working on of pulling it like through this Weichert Gold program, all of your former, clients, all of your former transactions as a spreadsheet so that you might be able to start marketing to them again and letting them know where you are. I know when a lot of people transition from active agent into referrals, sometimes because you lost your email address, you didn't have the Weichert.com anymore, you may have lost some of your contacts with your past clients. So we can actually try to help rebuild some of that by getting your past transactions for you and start marketing to them, and even try to help set you up with some campaigns to be sending some stuff out to them. So I think that would be a really important one. We're kind of whizzing through this. Does anybody have any questions? Like, it doesn't have to be on exactly what I talked about. This is a good stopping point for a moment to see if we have any general questions or procedural questions or what if. I'm trying to think, there was a couple of things that happened this week that are kind of the cautionary tales of making sure you place the referral with us before you go out and start talking, connecting people, connecting agents to your clients of people who did that and never got anything signed, never talked what the commission referral fee was, and then ended up not getting the referral because it was a runaway train and it was too late. So I'll talk a tiny bit more about this at the end, but it is so important in the process of doing all of this that you contact us first before you kind of keep going with the referral placement process. All right, so we'll go on to some of the Weichert perks. Did you know that you can get a $50 gift card just for getting a quote on your homeowners or your car insurance through Weichert Insurance? And I'm going to email everybody who's on this the link. You just get a quote. Plus, statistically, most people save a couple $100 because they have some really good carriers and really good programs. So that's a nice little Weichert perk that you should know. You should at least, get a quote on your homeowners and car and see if they could save you some money. I also arranged through how do we pronounce this? McKissack. I can never pronounce them. They're one of the continuing education carriers. And I know, for example, Pennsylvania just had their license expiration date at the end of May. And some states, not New Jersey, but some states require continuing ed even for referral associates. So if you are in one of those states and you have continuing ed happen, and I'll send this one also, if you go to this link, I made a cute little URL and use the WRA 30, you'll get 30% off continuing ed. For example, Pennsylvania for 14 credit hours with the discount was like $70 for the whole thing. So it's definitely worth checking out. And in New Jersey, if you ever think you're coming back to being an active sales associate, I urge you to keep up with continuing ed because you will have to do that. But if you're staying in referral, you don't have to worry about it in New Jersey, just so you know. We also, not only for the jobs that we're hiring within our group, within Weichert as a whole, there's a lot of open salaried positions like in corporate jobs, and you could actually earn finder's fees if you help place somebody. So if you know anybody who's looking for a job, the next slide I think has the address. I encourage you to, on Weichert 1, there's a little link that you click and you say, I'm referring this person. And if they get hired, all kinds of good things. And if you have any referral associates you want to refer, there's $100 finder's fee if they're not already somebody we're working with, or, kind of in the middle of recruiting, but if it's a new person for us, you get that also. So, there's some little program details, but the form is on Weichert One, and you can do the refer a candidate and try to earn some extra money. We also have discounts on ADT and on some bathroom fixtures and whatnot. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Ford. So if you haven't checked all of these things out, they are all in Weichert One. Whirlpool, so all good to know. Yeah, and they're all on Weichert One. So this is kind of my usual spiel at this point, where we talk a little bit about, again, you have to contact us first before you place the referral. It comes from you to us to them, not from you to them. So you always have to come to us first, because we're the broker of record. So technically the referrals have to be placed with us. We have to place it with them, and we get all the paperwork signed. If you are sitting with some old form, do me a favor, rip them up, crumple them up, throw them out, delete them off your computer, wherever they are. We're not using the old forms. The ways to place the referral is you either go to weichertreferrals.com/place, or just weichertreferrals.com, and you will see the button, or you call us or you email us, and we take it from there. You don't need to do signatures with the agents, because we get the managers to sign. Referrals are placed at 37.5%. And really, you shouldn't be trying to negotiate, and they shouldn't be negotiating with you. We take care of it. You can still suggest a specific sales associate, though. So if you have somebody that you know really well that you want to use, feel free to tell us who you want it to go to, and we will make that happen. But I really suggest you only do that if it's somebody you know personally and that you know is really good and going to take care of it. Because we prefer, if we place the referral for you, we work with lead specialists, and those are really like very specific people in the office that are part of a team that have been hand chosen to handle these referrals. They have a very high close rate. Their primary business is to focus on this. Things will not get lost. And brand X and franchise, we also, screen and vet, rather than you trying to call managers and figure out who it should go to. You shouldn't do that. Also, joining our Facebook group is huge, because I put a lot of stuff in there, and I answer questions, and jump around and sometimes post random videos. So you can check us out in there. And again, just a reminder, if you haven't done your membership renewal yet, it is end of this month, and after June 30th, there's late fees. So I don't want anybody to get late fees. You should have gotten an email. I think they're going out every Monday at this point. I think you should have gotten one yesterday. It has a link so you could pay it directly. And just again, a reminder, this for New Jersey folks, this is not your license renewal. Licenses are next year. This is membership, which is every year, but licenses are next year. So you don't have to worry about that. And and maybe I'll take since we've moved pretty quickly, I want to take a couple minutes when I'm done with this to chat with you guys more informally, but I'd love to find out from some of you guys what industries you're currently in. Are you retired? Do you have a full-time job? What industries are you in, and how can that maybe connect, and we can find ways to help you market yourself to the communities that you're in, whether it's either through your hobbies or through your work or through your communities. And we would love to highlight you. This was Claude, who we featured this month, and we loved his story because he's on a search and rescue team. He goes all over the country. He does this stuff. I love this photo because I really think doing referrals is a great way to earn extra money to do things that you might not normally have a chance to do. So don't forget to also, for yourselves too, if you're interested in a salaried career, come check out the weichert.com website. Hang on. Oh, okay. And we could pick our winner before we forget. So first, let's see if I could get into, let me stop sharing for a second. Hang on. Stop share. There we go. All righty. Oh, we had some in the chat box. So I'll do the raffle in 1 second. I'd like that dialogue screen. Can you share it again? Yes, I will also email slides, or I will definitely post all of the slides in the Facebook group for sure. If you haven't joined yet, any ideas for call lists? Yeah. If you're interested in some call lists, reach out to me directly, because we can probably pull some lists for you. Whether you're in a particular geographic area, we use a service called Cole Realty. I don't know if any of you guys used it when you were active agents, but we can definitely pull some geographic lists if you want call lists from around your home or in your neighborhood. And when we do it through Cole, I think it scrubs it against the DNC, the do not call list. So you would be good to go. Key branding messages for potential sellers. Great question. The couple of big things that we talked about last month a little bit, which was the sell now, move later idea, was part of that. Like, sellers are in the driver's seat right now. So I think sellers are getting hung up and being afraid to list their homes because they're afraid to be a buyer, right? They know they can sell their house. They know they're going to get a gazillion dollars over asking price, but they're afraid to then put themselves into the buyer's seat because they're afraid they're not going to find a house, and they're afraid of timing, which sellers are always afraid of, that buy sell timing. That's nothing super new. But right now, because of the conditions in the market, they can really dictate terms like you would not believe. They can dictate, they could say to a buyer, well, I'm going to sell conditionally subject to me finding a home, and give me X amount of time to find a home. They could say, I'm going to close, and in effect make themselves a cash buyer now, which will make their purchase a million times easier. But I want 3 months of post-closing occupancy for free, or whatever they decide, and can negotiate. So they can come up with a lot of different when you talk to sellers, say, you're really in the driver's seat. There's so many options and so many willing buyers right now that you shouldn't be afraid to list, because you're never going to get more than you're going to get right now, and especially for folks who are downsizing and maybe pulling a lot of equity out of their house, so the mortgage rates aren't affecting them as much. They may be able to be in a really good position. And then another thing that we're rolling out, and a lot of these things are going to be in the Weichert RA Design Center, which is actually weichertradesignCenter.com. It uses your Weichert One login and password, but we have new stuff that's going to be going in there shortly with this See It First campaign, because Weichert is promoting a lot of exclusive listings that legally we can't promote a specific exclusive listing before it's on the MLS. So we can't say 123 Main Street is available, now, whatever. But we can say generically, we have homes in your market that are exclusive. See it before the competition. That's not a seller question. That's more of a buyer thing. But again, to try to generate some leads that you might be able to refer. So that was just another one. Oh, good question. How many states are represented in this call? I don't know the answer to that. What people can throw in the chat comments where you tell me what state you're in. That would be good. Yeah, and with RA Design Center, it also allows you to do some custom branding within. I wonder if I can jump on a screen, hang on my other side, and then share it with you real quick. Let's see if I can. I will show you if I can. Oh, hang on. That's only if my passwords are pre-populated. I can tell you that right now. Hang on. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So let me move this out of the way. In Weichert Design Center, when you go over, if you say here and go view this is where you would get your business cards too, by the way. We have a bunch of social media posts that you can use. And if you go to this create now, it lets you insert, you could upload your photo. You can put your name, your title, meaning like if you're in New Jersey, you would be salesperson, parentheses, referral, but every state has a specific title. I have a list of titles if you're not sure what your title is. Let me see if we can get this to show you what this looks like. Can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can make this bigger. But as you can see, so if you were doing it as a social media post, it could be branded to you. and this is like, I'll find you the right real estate professional is this particular one. But there's a bunch of them there, we're adding more all the time, and we're adding the buy, sell now, buy later. This is also it looks a little pixelated here, but it doesn't when you download it. But this, you don't have to pay for this. This is only if you did it as a postcard, but it creates just a little post. It's kind of almost like an I'm with Weichert, but it's just your name, your information that you can use for posting. So definitely check out RA Design Center for sure. We got Virginia, Florida, Queens, New York, we got New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Awesome. Hunterdon County, New Jersey. I'm coming to you from my home office in Ridgewood in Bergen County right now. Okay, so we talked about RA Design Center. Yeah, so there's also this See It First Now campaign as well that you can definitely use. All right, before I forget, let's do the raffle. So people type in the message box if you are a Facebook group member, and I'll give you guys the Facebook group. Somebody asked that question, I'll give you that one again, but type in here a yes if you are a Facebook member. And then like, I'm a Facebook guy. Yeah, I'll give that a second so people could do it, but I will pick just a regular person real now. Let's scroll kind of like blah, blah, blah. Let's see. We have, I'm going down the list. Let's see who. I'm very random, kind of like scrolling until I pick. Barbara McG. My scroll landed on Barbara McG. Do you have business cards yet? Barbara? Because if you don't, you're getting business cards. You are getting one of the business cards. I think she's muted, but I'll email you, Barbara. Oops, there we go. I'm unmuting you. So Barbara, we'll take care of you. And then in terms of other, let's see, I gotta go down to the.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Is that Barbara?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Hi, Barbara. So do you have business cards yet?
I do not. I have a lot of cards from when I was a full agent.
No, you can't.
But I can't use them, no. And it's been a couple years, to be quite honest with you. But now I'm able to get back into this, and that's why I'm here on the seminar today.
Awesome. So what is your full last name? Because it says McG, but I bet it's longer than that.
It's McGinnis, McGinnis.
Okay, this way I at least know who I need to reach out to. Awesome. All right, I'm good. You can mute yourself.
Okay.
Again, and let me just say, why is it hard for me to tell everybody's names? I'm getting initials. I have an initial that says CT. You said yes. Who is CT? Somebody's going to have to tell me. Cecile, right? Did I just see that flash by? Who is CT? Unmute yourself.
Hi, Cecilia.
Cecilia, you're in the Facebook group, right?
Yes.
So you are a $50 gift card winner, which if you haven't done your membership yet, we could apply to that, or we could just send you, I think we were doing Amazon gift cards. Hang on, I'm writing here.
Yeah, I've already done the membership.
Perfect. So then you'll get a $50, hang on, I'm writing that down so I don't forget. We do a $50 Amazon gift card. We do it as a code, so we could just email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Use it on Facebook. Awesome. So in terms of the Facebook address, somebody had asked, let me see if I can get back to finding my screen. Hang on. This doesn't want to make it easy for me. Hang on. Present. I got to reshare. Sorry. There's so many steps to doing this sometimes. It's like share, screen, up, backwards. Okay, so let me see if I can go backwards here. 1 second. Why is it not letting me go backwards? All right. 1 second, gang. You're dealing with my technical difficulties. Oops. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay. It's facebook.com. I could give it to you because I know it. /groups/Weichert Referral Associates. So that is what it is. Let me still see if I can get my screen back up there. Hang on, because it's easier. I know. Let's see. Here we go. All right, now I can share. All right. So yeah, it's facebook.com groups Weichert Referral Associates. So we have a Weichert Referral Associates page. That's like the public facing page, different than the group. So 2 things: the regular page, which, you know, you should like or do whatever it is we do on pages, like yes, follow, whatever. But when we post things there, you can share it to your personal Facebook page with, again, you can share it because they're kind of generic staging tips, real estate, you know, news, you know, just like very consumer interest type of things. And then in your post, you can always just say, hey, thought you guys might be interested in this. You know, I don't know if you know, but I'm a referral associate. I can connect you to a perfect, you know, agent anywhere you're looking to buy or sell, or whatever language you want to use. So you could always share it from there. The Facebook group is a private group, so that I post different videos in there for us. Like I'll post this whole video in there. I make little guide books with different little tips and whatnot that are in there, different social media things that you can, again, share. So, and it's also, I check it every day. So if you just want some questions answered or something, you can always post a question, we'll answer it. We'll be doing more as we grow. Right now, we think we got a little over 150 people in it. So that's good. And we're still growing. So that's what's happening there. So was there any, whoever ON was, no, you didn't win the business cards. Sorry, but you can get business cards. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions before we kind of wrap up? General, specific to your situations that are happening? Or does anybody have any good wins, any good referrals that they've placed? We've had some really interesting referrals that were placed recently. I know we have one referral associate who's a recruiter herself, like a job recruiter, and she placed somebody who's moving from someplace in California to someplace in Washington State, and both of those deals closed. So that was, you know, that's a great tie-in, like a career, because, you know, that's how people are tying in careers. You know, we had somebody else who I know put a flyer on their community clubhouse bulletin board, you know, that their referral associate is anybody thinking of selling or something. I don't know what they designed for it, but then got a listing referral from that. So that people are doing lots of great things. So even in the Facebook group, if you've had any successes that you want to share, or ideas, or ask, you know, brainstorming with other people, that's a great place to do that. So that's about it for today, unless anybody else has any questions. So I will make sure I email, wait, do I have office out? I'm trying to get everybody's questions. I work a million hours a day, but the office hours are 8:30 to 5. And if you email me, which is K, then my last name, K Lampiasi at weichertrealtors.net, which is also, I don't know that I put it on one of my final little slides here, but it's K Lampiasi. Or if you did referral at Weichert Referrals, yeah, at weichertrealtors.net, sorry, referral at the same one that's posted everywhere, and just address it to me, they'll send it to me from the mailbox. And if you want to set up a phone call or a Zoom or a time to go over any of your particular stuff, happy to do that. All right, I'm trying to think, anybody else? Let me just see. Looking forward to accessing the databases for locations. Yeah, so reach out, and we're the part of the thing that we're doing is we're expanding our team to have more referral coordinators, so that for you guys, we can give you like a dedicated person who can help, besides placing referrals, can help with some of this marketing stuff if you need some assistance in some way, or you're not sure how to do something, so that you have kind of a go-to person to help. I mean, I'm happy to help with any of this stuff at any time, but that's our goal as we're expanding, is so that more people have access to more personalized help. So if you ever need anything, definitely reach out. But that's it. I'm glad you were all here. I hope everybody is enjoying the June weather, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.